Hey everyone, it's Franco, your digital marketer here, and today we're going to talk about how to follow up with your online leads. So in my last video, we actually discussed what a bad lead is and how sometimes some businesses, they get some leads that are not actually bad leads, they're just leads that they haven't been able to sell to. What I want to go over today is why it's important to follow up, as well as how to follow up effectively with your business. First things first, you are going to come across people who might be interested in what you have to offer, but for many different reasons, they might not be ready to buy. Maybe it's pricing, maybe they need to think about it, or maybe there are other people they need to speak to so that they are sure that they want to take a specific action. And as a business, you need to make sure that you have the right follow-up process in place so that when those people are actually ready to buy, they're buying from you and not your competitor. Now, as a marketing agency owner, I run a lot of campaigns for my clients, and a few of the things that I come across is that there are many people who are very interested, and they are interested in services that they need and they're going to buy from someone, but right now might not be the right time. What's important for all this is to really have a good follow-up process so that someone who maybe showed interest today, a week from now, they're being followed up on and they're actually coming in the door the week later or same week. So a few of the things that are important is to acknowledge and understand that if someone's calling you for the first time, they don't know who you are, they don't trust you yet. So part of the process for getting them to come in the door is to establish that trust. And one of the best ways to do that is to follow up by either calling a business, emailing them some more information, or texting them in regular intervals depending on what they agree to. So if you have a form and you're telling them, look, I'm gonna subscribe you to an email list, send a few emails. If they called you, maybe call them back a week or two after they said that they were going to think about it. After you're able to actually determine how you're going to follow up with these people, you wanna make sure that you have the right software in place so that you are able to keep track of all this. I have several different clients, but some of them, they came in from like cold sources. So they were like people who didn't even know who I was. Some of those clients, they took months, up to maybe even a year in one case, for them to become clients. And essentially the way that we were able to get them to become our client is that initially, I remember there was one business owner who I spoke to. We had a good conversation, but they decided to go with a different company for a service. Regardless, I reached out a year after we stopped talking just to see how things were. A year later, many things happened. They weren't working with the company that they were working with at that point. I was able to reignite the conversation. They were willing to give me a shot. Look, it's already been maybe 8-9 months and we're still working together. So what's important is having the right system to remind you that you need to follow up. Now, I see many businesses sometimes use maybe an Excel sheet, which, look, something is better than nothing, right? So that could actually work at the very beginning stages of your business. But I'd say that as you develop your business, you want to focus on what we call CRM systems, customer relationship management systems, that allow you to store data from these potential leads and customers so that you know where you are at any given point in terms of your relationship with them. So for example, if someone calls you today, you're able to track the conversations you have with that person over the next 2 to 3 months, which is important because let's say today you're the one answering the calls, you're the one sending out the emails. If you decide to get someone to sit in your spot and they're the ones doing that, and there's no way for them to know what was discussed over the last 2 to 3 months, guess what? The person who took your spot is not gonna have any idea what this person's needs are, and they're going to have to reignite the whole conversation, and for a potential lead, it might be frustrating. So what you want to do is you wanna use a CRM system. I use HubSpot. There are many other platforms out there, I heard, but you wanna use these systems so that when you are looking at following up with some of these businesses that showed interest, that you know where you are with them. Maybe someone 2 months ago mentioned that they were interested in what you had to offer, but maybe it was a pricing thing. Maybe they told you, look, reach out in 2 months because then I will be able to have the budget. And maybe it's the end of the year. Maybe they want you to contact them at the beginning of the year so that they have the budget ready and they're able to pay you. So of course, if you just tell yourself, look, I'm gonna do it, and you forget because you don't have a system in place, you just lost that potential client. It's important to be able to follow up with businesses, and I find that having a CRM system allows you to get these alerts for when you should reach out to someone. And as a standard, I'd say that you want to follow up with someone at least once a month, depending on how the conversation goes. If it's a small ticket item, for example, you might be able to follow up with them maybe once a month. Something like a bigger ticket item, you might want to follow up every 2 months, depending on when you think they will actually be able to make the purchase decision. You think that they might be a good client in a year, you don't want to wait until that year comes for you to be able to follow up with, and you want want to stay top of mind, because if you don't follow up with them, they're going to forget who you are and they're going to restart their search for a company, and now they're not considering you because they forgot who you were. So by continuously being in front of them, they remember who you are, and they know that, okay, well, this person's been very consistent. I think I can trust them to give me the quality of work that I expect, because no one else has really done a good job of treating me like someone who they want to work with, right? You want to provide that quality follow-up because it just shows that you're very organized, which is interesting because I've noticed many people tell me that for different services, they'll call around to different businesses and the businesses don't answer the phone when that happens. What really ends up happening is that they'll keep calling other businesses, and then really it's the one that either answers the phone first or the one that calls back and is able to speak to that prospect that gets the business, right? So you don't want to be the business owner that is essentially, you're running ads and you're getting calls, and maybe you're not answering the calls and you're not following up with those that actually answered. Or maybe if you are getting calls, these people might be interested, they might not be ready today, they might be ready next month. You want to make sure you follow up next month, because you're leaving a lot of money on the table if you are not following up. Different industries may require different follow-up processes, but I find that it's extremely valuable and you're going to get your money's worth. If I can add something here, I know that a lot of salespeople, they love working with new leads, because a new lead, it's like a new opportunity, right? Some of the old leads, they might have said no at the time, or they might have said, look, let me think about it. But of course, you're able to work with some of those old leads that already know what you have to offer, that maybe when you reach out the next time, they might be ready to buy from you. So overall, if you want to have a good follow-up process, I recommend that you think about how you want to reach out to these potential prospects, and you want to incorporate a good software so that you're able to track how it is that you're doing with your follow-up process, as well as to write down notes in terms of how those interactions went with those prospects, so that if someone called today, you're able to consistently follow up with them over 3 months, and then you're able to get that business when that person is ready to buy. So I hope that this video was very helpful for you, and if you liked it, please give it a like, subscribe for more. I hope we'll see you in the next one, where we're going to be covering other ways to help you get more leads and close them for sales. So thank you very much. Have a good one.